Welcome to the Chris Hanna Show, where business, as usual, gets a swift kick in the ass. If you're tired of the same old advice and ready to disrupt the status quo, you're in the right place. I'm cutting through the noise with bold strategies, unfiltered truths, and a no-nonsense approach to entrepreneurship, video marketing, and content creation. Buckle up, because it's time to level up, stand out, and dominate your market. This isn't just another podcast, it's a wake-up call for entrepreneurs and would-be aspiring solopreneurs who are all in. Let's get started. All right, it's time for another episode of the Chris Hanna Show. I am going to be talking about wearing all the hats in your business. One of the things I did early on when I decided to become an entrepreneur is I was really proud of the fact that I was calling myself the all-in solopreneur. I was going to be the solopreneur who didn't have any employees. I was doing everything myself. I absolutely thought it was the smart play, and I did everything, and it was great. But at times it also sucked. And I think that you have to sometimes embrace the suck. Like wearing every hat until you make it was important. Like it's not glamorous when you start the entrepreneurial journey. Like, yeah, you're not just the CEO because, you're now the marketer, the accountant, the customer service rep, and hell, I'll even call you the janitor because you have to clean up shit. Like that's wearing every hat. It's exhausting, it's overwhelming, it's downright infuriating, but the thing is, I think it's the most valuable stage of your growth in your business. The lessons that you're going to learn by doing it all yourself help prepare you to eventually scale, to delegate, and ultimately succeed. And I think wearing every hat isn't just a struggle, it's a rite of passage. Every entrepreneur, honestly, starts as a one-person army. Even if you got a partner, you're starting as a one-person army, no matter what everybody else says. Because most businesses don't start with a team or a hefty budget. And you're doing it all actually in the beginning. Because you know what? Money's tight. There's budget constraints. Helping is, I guess how do I say this better? Hiring help isn't always feasible when funds are tight. And there's also the control freak tendencies that pop in. Like you think no one else can do it better than you. Spoiler alert, eventually. You probably maybe heard this episode already. They can. And then learning the ropes. Like doing everything yourself, you gain a deep understanding of your business. And you know every single fucking aspect of it, which is awesome. So wearing every hat isn't a failure. It's how you build the foundation for long-term success. You learn a lot of lessons when you do it all yourself too. When you're juggling every role, it can feel like chaos. But within the grind are lessons that help shape you into being the better entrepreneur long-term. Because you build resilience. You handle setbacks, tough clients, unexpected challenges that toughen you up along the road ahead. You gain a 360 view of your business, like doing every job. You understand how each piece fits together, making you stronger when it's time to delegate. And then you also discover your strengths. Wearing every hat helps you identify what you're great at and what you should offload ASAP. I learned that. Like I was doing everything. When I launched All In Content, of course, I was doing everything, right? I'm coming up with ideas. I'm recording. I'm editing. I'm captioning. I'm thumbnailing. I'm scheduling the content on social media. And I learned really quickly that there are some things that I was really, really good at, right? Like no one can extract the amount of video content ideas that I can and record people who basically are not comfortable being on camera as well as I am. At least that's what I thought. But there's other things that I was doing that somebody would be better at. So then my wife joined the business probably about 6 months in. She actually was better at captioning videos than me. She would make sure she had like the right effects on it. She would be able to add the right emojis if we needed emojis. Like she just was better at it than me. I wasn't as, let's call it detailed as what she would be. And she would catch things that I maybe would miss, little punctuation pieces. So she became the designated person who does all the captions for all of our videos, for all of our clients and myself included. She's better at it than me. And then in time, I realized I needed an editor because the amount of videos that I was doing, it was not sustainable for me to do. I was so resistant for way too long, to be honest, to having an editor. And when I did get my editor and seeing the quality of content that they were able to do, like I'm recording the stuff and giving it to them and letting them use their vision on what it could be based on some instructions I would provide. I was like, wow, I've been like really holding my business back by trying to do it all myself. The other thing I think when you are doing it all yourself, like you do cultivate, I'm going to say a bit of resourcefulness too, because like you're strapped for time, your money, your knowledge. So you have to get creative, and I think it forces you to be more creative, which is great. Now, of course, there's the flip side, right? Like, it's positive, sure, at times to, wear every hat, but there's a dark side to it. Like, it's a valuable stage, but it comes with a risk if you stay there too long. And I think I stayed there a little bit too long, maybe on the editing side, because you can burn out. Like, you spread yourself too thin, leads to exhaustion, diminished productivity. Like, I started seeing at a certain point where, like, some of the videos that I was editing were not that good compared to eventually once I did hire an editor. Like, I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm trying to do too much myself. By hiring actually an expert, it made life easier. And then I was doing too many low-level tasks that kept me from being, focused on the strategic, high-value activities. So hiring as an assistant to be able to help with some of that other stuff was huge. And it stunted my growth. Like, I can't scale if I'm trying to do it all myself. The key is obviously knowing when to transition from doing it all to building a team. And that's hard. But, like, doing it all to delegating, where you're basically dropping the hats, is tricky. But there's a couple things I think that are key for you to know. First is identify the low-value tasks, right? Like, make a list of tasks that drain your time, your energy, but don't require expertise. Like, basically make a list. Like, I wrote a list down of everything that I do. And then I made a column of, like, should I do it or should someone else? And then I started realizing the someone else stuff are the first things I need to delegate. Can I wrap that into a role? Is it an assistant? Is it my wife? Is it some other employee they need to hire? Is it an editor? What are those tasks? But start small. Like, if you're going to outsource for the first time, do one task at a time, one project at a time, and try and get it out there. So, like, really, even before I had Raquel, like, one of the things that, before my wife joined me there, I actually outsourced the bookkeeping because I didn't really know how to do that. A couple $100 a month, send it to a bookkeeper. They can take care of it. Great. That's one thing I don't need to worry about. They're doing that for me. Then I brought Raquel in. She started helping with some basic editing, some stuff there. Then I got an assistant. Then I got an editor. I'm going to hire probably other people as well to help us. Finding the right people is important, like whether it's freelancers, VAs, which is virtual assistants, part-time contractors, people who align with your needs and your values. And then you got to create the systems. This is where I struggle a little bit because I'm not the process guy. I'm more like the ideas guy. But, like, you have to document your process. As much as I don't want to do it, I had to do it. Because I knew how to do the business. So then people can ultimately do it without your involvement. And then your freed up time has to focus on your strategy, your innovation, your growth. And in my case, the content creation. Like, I'm the one doing the marketing. I got to get high on my own supply, as they call it, right? So I'm batch creating content and then taking it through my process. Like I said, wearing every hat can suck, but it's also pretty rewarding at times. Like, you appreciate the grind. When you've done it all, you value your success even more. You also, when you do get employees, like, your future employees will respect that you've been in the trenches. And then you're also more prepared for growth because the lessons that you learn make you stronger and more effective. Like, embracing the suck isn't about suffering. It's about growth. Like I said, when I started my business, I did everything. I built the website. I created the content. I answered every email. I handled all the tech issues. That even stuff that I probably had no business touching. And I did all the recording, all the editing, all the scheduling of content. It wasn't pretty, and it definitely wasn't easy, but it taught me more than any course or any job ever could do. I say this all the time. Quitting my job, my job, I mean, like, quitting working for someone else and launching my own companies. I learned more in the first year, 2 years of doing that than I probably learned in the previous 10 to 20 years of working for other people. But it's hard. Wearing every hat is challenging. But you learn what you're made of when you do that. You discover your grit, your creativity, your ability to keep going when everything feels impossible. But you can't get stuck there. The goal isn't to stay a one-person army forever. It's to build something that scales, that thrives, that frees you up to focus on the work that you love. Like, a lot of people would always ask me, Chris, are you always going to be a solopreneur? And for the first few years, I said yes. I had no interest in bringing on additional help. I didn't want to have employees because I had I hired, promoted, led over 500 different employees over almost 20 years across multiple industries, and I was done with it. Like, I had so much drama and bullshit that I had to deal with that I didn't want to do employees anymore. And then I realized I'm actually doing myself and clients a disservice by trying to do it all myself. because I can only grow so much. I can only scale so much. And there's a lot of businesses that could benefit from the help that we provide. And so I'm like, I have to hire. As much as I don't want to hire, I have to. I have to drop the hats. I can't do it all myself. I need to run it as a business owner, not as an operator. So if you're stuck in the thick of it right now, sure, embrace it. Learn everything you can. Take pride in the hustle. Know that this stage is temporary, though. You're not just building a business. You're building yourself. You've got this. Keep grinding, and the results will be worth every ounce of effort in time. All right, that's a wrap for today's dose of reality on the Chris Hanna Show. If you're fired up and ready to kick some serious ass, then I've done my job. But remember, knowledge without action is just wasted breath. So what are you going to do? Sit around and let opportunities pass you by? Or are you going to step up and take what's yours? The choice is yours, but don't expect sympathy if you choose the easy road. If you've got value from today's episode, smash that subscribe button, leave a review, or share it with somebody who needs a wake-up call. Don't keep this gold to yourself unless you're afraid of a little competition. Stay bold, stay hungry, and remember, always go all in. Until next time, this is Chris Hanna signing off. Now go out there and take what's yours.